Welcome to Road Scouts. For those who are new to the channel, we're dedicated in showing you an uncut version of a route from point A to point B, and we will see establishments, places of interests. For our trip today, we're going to check the updates in Section 3 of the Metro Manila Skyway Stage 3 project. But I'm coming off in this area, and sa Shaw Boulevard. The reason being is part of the project includes for them to fix this bridge. It's known as the Sevilla Bridge, as well as this bridge. It's known as the Old Santa Mesa Bridge. Both of the bridges are now open to the public, but I'm not sure if there is still gonna be a bit of a traffic here. So we're not going to see both. We'll only choose one. So I have opted for this one because it's along our path. Okay. But we're not going to take Shaw all the way. I have an episode 2, which shows you the entire Shaw Boulevard all the way to Calentong, this part. So what we'll do is we'll turn right in Mabini, okay, end up somewhere in Wilson, right? So end up there, go through that, okay, turn right here at Gruet or Groot. There's a house, big house here, which we'll talk about later. End up or cross Calentong, okay. So that's episode number 2. Sorry, this is Calentong, right? So cross Calentong, then traverse this path here will end up where the bridge is. Unfortunately, we cannot turn left, so we have to turn right so we can get to SM Center Point or SM Santa Mesa. From there, okay, so we're going to start our Skyway Stage 3 update here in Santa Mesa, right? So we're going to traverse the entirety of Araneta Avenue. This is Araneta Avenue, guys, right? So that's Araneta Avenue. So Araneta Avenue will pass through E. Rodriguez, Quezon Ave. Okay, so watch out for the topics where we discuss updates. Okay, if you're into maps, importante yon. Okay, and then we're going to pass Del Monte Avenue. If I'm not mistaken, after Del Monte Avenue. It's C3. It's known as C3 or Circumferential Road 3, right? So after Del Monte Avenue, so it we will traverse the entire C3, and you'll notice that's what happens with Skyway. Okay, so Skyway project, it follows the path of the street itself. Okay, and we'll end up here. We'll make a U-turn, and we'll again see the actual structure. So you'll know the ramp, the on ramps and the off ramps. Okay. All right. So let's go and start our trip for today. Okay, our trip begins. Merry Christmas, by the way, to everyone. So since it's Christmas, let's have a joke. So use Paul, P-A-U-L, 4 times in a sentence. So, sirit na kayo. Hey, Paul, be careful. You might fall in the swimming pool. Anyway, we're at Shaw Boulevard, just like what I've said, and starting off uh, at Shaw EDSA, and we're going to make a right here somewhere where we're going to, use the Barangay Wakwak Road all the way to Wilson Avenue, right? This has been my route, has as always, even back in the days, especially if I'm going to, Quezon City, right? So even if I was coming from Makati, going to NLEX, I would take the Makati Mandaluyong Bridge and work my way up to Araneta Avenue. And from Araneta Avenue, I'll work my way up to C3, and that's where I will end up at A Bonifacio. Now, C3 has not always been there. It was, if I'm not mistaken, constructed maybe 20 years ago. So not a lot of people are very familiar with C3. Okay, so my some of my friends, if they're coming from Manila, they will go LRT all the way to maybe Blumentritt or to even Monumento. Yung mga nasa Makati will maybe do the same or maybe do NLEX or rather EDSA. Okay. For me, this has always been faster and shorter in terms of distance. So if you're from Makati, you can take the Makati Mandaluyong Bridge and then watch my episode 22 to get to maybe Araneta. If you're from here, Pasig, well, maybe Pasig C5 ka na, Mindanao Avenue. Okay, but Makati, maybe if you're coming from the south, right? So even if I'm coming from the south, I'll take, Ortigas, as long as I'll end up in Araneta Avenue, and that's always been faster for me. Okay, because sometimes there's congestion somewhere in Cubao or any place else, right? So, this is Mandaluyong still, but eventually part of it now will become San Juan. We're going to end up at Wilson Avenue, and then from Wilson Avenue, Calentong, and then from Calentong, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na Old Santa Mesa Bridge. Now, yung tapat nun is yung Orolio. I have talked about it in episode 22 as well. Okay. There are two episodes regarding this area. That's episode 2 for Shaw Calentong and then episode 22 for the Mabuhay Lane. Okay. And I like this included because the Skyway project itself, it did not stop with the elevated highway. There are parts that they needed to fix. Yung road surface, yung bridge. In fact, the bridge alone, the old Santa Mesa bridge alone, was part of the deal. Okay? And while waiting, welcome back to our subscribers, to our returning viewers, and to our new viewers. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing so because we still have a lot of episodes coming. So we are now in Wilson Avenue. Okay. If I go straight up, not really straight, but there will be some turns. Just follow the video here. We'll end up at Calentong. Okay. What I'm waiting for is the Gruet Street, where there's a house there that, is historically part of the news. Okay. The prices of the properties here range from, I believe, 80,000 per square meter to 250,000 per square meter, depending on the area itself. Okay. But this is a nice area to live if you have the money. Very close to everything else. And this is San Juan. Nasa San Juan na tayo. Now, Skyway Stage 3. We're going to talk about Section 3 and 4, to be honest. Although in my introduction, I only mentioned Section 3. Okay, but we're officially it's going to be Sections 3 and 4. Okay, we're not going to be able to start Section 3 because it's not going to be possible for us to trace it. Because part of it is on the river. Okay, and we won't have the time to proceed to section 4. So it is the house. Just look at it for now. So this is the house. This is a very big mansion. Okay. Yan. So this house used to be President Arab's property, but then it got sold to the Manalo family, which is now part of the Iglesia ni Cristo domain. Yan, yun lang naman. So I just wanted to highlight that as part of our route, just in case you pass by here, you know at least the history. So we're turning left here, okay? And as you notice, there's not much traffic. This is the ordinary. Well, this is not an ordinary, but generally it's lighter than most roads. Yun nga lang medyo maraming paliko-liko. Yan. I'll just talk whenever, guys. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, we show you uncut versions. Ito na yung kalentong, guys. And, oops, yan. Discuss natin ng konti. Sa controlled intersection, meaning to say there's a stoplight or a traffic enforcer, that is a controlled intersection. The control takes precedence over your written right of way. Okay, so since I am on a go light, he is on a stop light. Okay, so if this was a car, yeah, different story, right? But if you're going to turn right on a stoplight and there's no sign telling you that you cannot turn, right? You have to do it carefully. So the right of way still takes precedence over the concept of, the right to turn right anytime with care. Okay. So especially in a controlled intersection. Okay. But anyway, these are the challenges that we will face daily as we drive through the streets of Manila. Okay. If you this is also the route that you take if you want to end up at UERM, because we're going to end up at SM Center Point, or now more popularly known as SM Santa Mesa. Uh, and SM Santa Mesa, remember, is at the intersection of Araneta and Aurora Boulevard. Okay, and in Aurora Boulevard, just across SM City, not really across, but you know, maybe one block after is UERM, the university and the hospital as well. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So you see that on the left, Skyway. If you turn left here, that's where the old Santa Mesa Bridge was, which was fixed by the SM or the Skyway project. Okay, so we're just going to turn left here at Araneta. And tuloy-tuloy na yun. You'll see. So we're going to turn left here, which is now going to be Araneta Avenue, and you see the Skyway. The structure behind the Skyway is SMCT Santa Mesa. To our right will be not really here, but if you get to Araneta Avenue, turn right, you will hit UERM. Yung mga towers na nakikita nyo yan, it's a mixed residential and commercial spaces. So there are commercial spaces below it. You'll see Mr. Kebab there as well. Excuse me. So this is now Aurora Boulevard. And the Skyway, as you could see, it's a 2x2 at this point. And we're going to traverse Aurora Boulevard all the way to Del Monte, where it will change its name to C3. If I am not mistaken about the boundaries. Okay. Right? Now, if you notice here, if you haven't been to this area back in the days, the roads here are much smoother now. Okay, really, really much smoother. And that's probably part of the highway project. Okay, I'm going to bet because if the old Skyway was any indicator, okay, if you remember the Buendia, the Magallanes to the Buendia area, it's being managed quite well. Although it's an asphalt, it's being managed quite well. So here, the road is concrete, but it's smoother. Back in the days, for those who are familiar with this, will agree na maraming potholes dito. So bako-bako yung daan. But now I'm noticing it's really smooth and the skyway is almost complete. I'm not seeing any on-ramp or off-ramp yet. Okay. I think this is on the right here is the start of the on-ramp. Okay. Yeah, so you see those structures, they're putting it up. Let's stop here maybe. What do you think? Let's stop here. And I'm going to make a video and I'll include that at the end of our clip before we end the episode. Okay? So let's move on. So that's the on-ramp. Okay, normally if you see an on-ramp, what do you expect in a highway? So you will see an off-ramp, right? On-ramps usually appear first before off-ramps in our highways, in the elevated skyways. In elevated skyways, okay. Not necessarily in uh, in in actual highways. Okay, I guess it depends on the location. Majority of the times, okay, here in the Philippines, off ramps are after on ramps. Okay, yan. So I wonder what would happen to the island. I hope that it will still be under SMC's management. Okay, so it will get better, right? Hopefully, there's gonna be no parked vehicles there, so it's not gonna be turned into parking. Okay, we still need to develop a lot more discipline, but it will get there. We'll see. Maybe not. But I'm optimist by heart. This is E. Rodriguez Avenue, guys. If you turn right, you'll hit Cubao. If you turn left, you'll hit España. I covered that in my Mabuhay Lane episode. So, yun. I guess the next exit or the next on-ramp, off-ramp will be Quezon Avenue. Let's wait for that. The roads are much smoother now. Hopefully it will be maintained, right? Still, is this still a 2 by 2? I guess it's still a 2 by 2. Or maybe it's a 2 by 3 now. Yeah, it might be a 2 by 3, right? And because this is the off ramp now, so oh, you see a double decker here. All right, so this is nice. You see a double decker, and you see this double decker is wider than the actual highway. So I'm going to bet you guys, I might be wrong, but I'm going to bet you this is, in some countries, this is what they call a collector lane, right? A collector lane is where they collect all the vehicles exiting the highway. And this is really a smart move by Skyway management. This is a really a smart design because we're approaching Quezon Ave, and Quezon Ave is known for heavy traffic. This is really a smart design. So it's known for heavy traffic, and if you don't have a collector lane, tapos may traffic sa baba, it will pile up in the upper grade. So pag nagpahalap sila sa upper grade, affected din yung ano, the traffic there will be affected. So what they did was to make a wider collector where they will collect all vehicles getting off the highway. And since they are expecting heavy traffic here, they make it wider. If you can rewind it, and you'll see what's going on. So rewind the video, and you will see what I'm talking about, right? So it's kind of a double decker, but it is a double decker, but it's not double decker highway. It's a double decker collector, right? So they might call it an I don't know, right? But in some countries they call it a collector lane. Okay. So you see here we're back to just two lanes. We're approaching Quezon Ave, turn right, you'll end up in EDSA, turn left, you'll end up in España, UST. So yung rotonda. Okay? So let's wait for our next opportunity to talk. And we'll see. So ito yung updates dyan. I would assume itong nasa left natin will be an on-ramp from the direction itself. Okay. It might be an on and off ramp, two directions. And we're still in Araneta, guys, Araneta Avenue. And we're approaching Del Monte. To our left is yung mga Amoranto, Banawe, right? So this is the oh no, this is the on ramp. Okay. I'm not sure actually until we know. Yep. So I guess this is Talayan Village if you haven't been here. On our right is Talayan Village. If you turn left here, it's Amoranto, and it will bring you all the way to Banawe. Pag dinire-diretso mo yan, you will still end up at Blumentritt or Manila area, right? Dapitan, Di Masalang. Okay. Yon. So if you notice, in the middle is itong creek. There's a creek here. I'm not sure if it's part of the project. Oh, by the way, napuna ko lang, yung mga road dito is not as smooth as where we came from. And I'm pretty sure they're going to fix it. It's like what I've said, just like what happened to uh to Araneta area before, right? So it was really rough, but after the project itself, they fixed it. And there are two levels here, right? So you see the Skyway's two levels, and I'm going to bet that one of the levels here will be just like what I said, yung collector's lane to collect vehicles that will exit, or it could be the right of way, but I'm pretty sure it's more on the collector's lane to make sure that traffic at grade will not affect the traffic at the upper grade. Okay. Now we're at C3. This is C3, and this has been, I think, this has been a 20-year-old road. It wasn't like this before, but they opened it up maybe 20 years ago, which will bring us all the way to A Bonifacio. When this was opened up, it minimized the time that you have to travel between Manila and NLEX, because before your only option was EDSA and yung A Bonifacio coming from JP Rizal. Yan, so nakikita nyo, di ba? So two levels. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with one, the direction, and And by the way, there's a part of here, a part of of the project that's already 2 by 3. Okay. So yung Quezon City to NLEX is a 2 by 3 lanes na. Not it's not a 2 by 2. 2 by 3 meaning going to NLEX it's going to be 3 lanes. Coming from NLEX it's going to be 2 lanes. Okay? So section 3 is 97.38 complete, yung upper grade. But remember, they're still constructing the ramps. 19 of them are not yet or are still under construction, as you've seen. And at the end of the video, I'm actually going to show some of the on-ramp that are being that are being constructed. Okay. Okay, guys, we're almost at A Bonifacio. So this one, if you see that will now bring you all the way to NLEX. And itong ramp na to is I think the one that they say that will bring us to yung Kaunlaran area, right? So we're going to turn or make a U-turn here, go back and retrace actually all those points again. So by the time this gets open for us, we're very familiar with the structure as well. Okay. Don't worry, when this gets opened, we're going to be the first one to test it out. Pero maganda rin, 'di ba? Maganda rin malaman natin what's at grade. So if we're not traveling at the Skyway area, at least we have an idea what's going on at grade. How traffic it is, how is it being managed. I really hope that SMC takes over the management of the at grade section as well. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be part of the arrangement. I just don't know up to what the scope is. Okay. Pero if the old Skyway is any indicator, imagine yung area from Magallanes to Buendia, right? Kasi yun yung constructed na eh. I can't really say anything yet about Buendia to Quirino Avenue because it's not yet fully operational, quote unquote. Although it's 98% complete, okay, it hasn't been transferred yet. Okay, but if you look at the way the Skyway is being managed from Magallanes to Buendia, if that's an indicator of how this will be managed, it will be a good thing. Okay, maybe there will be a deviation because there's more businesses here, but we'll see. Okay, if SMC can manage this, it's going to be a less stressful drive for us from here on, even if we're not traveling in the Skyway itself. But it makes sense, right? It makes sense for SMC to manage the at grade area as well. Kasi kung ano nangyayari sa at grade will definitely impact what's going on up there, especially if there's heavy traffic here. If there's heavy traffic conditions here, it's going to be a problem. The roads are still rough, but I'm pretty sure it will be fixed. One thing I notice, I'm quite concerned about all these posts. Saan siya natatapos, saan siya nag-end. Parang bigla na lang may bumubulagang poste sa harapan natin. And I don't know what the plan is. Baka biglang nagdadrive, biglang may bumulagang poste, di ba? I hope that they will manage this better than the yung Makati underpass. Yung Makati underpass, it needs to be really lighted. It's dark, but they light it up when they want to. Okay? And they don't light it up when they don't want to. So, dapat yun mandatory. Maganda kung mandatory na lang siya. But anyway, that's another that's for another discussion, maybe, right? So this area, I don't have any issues with the posts. Yung pinanggalingan lang natin a while ago. Okay. I'm really hoping that eventually this will be heavily lighted. Pero in fairness to SMC, this area has always been dark anyway. Okay. This area has always been dark. So we'll see. We'll see what will happen to the tricycles, to the parked vehicles. Okay. And as maybe users of the Skyway, maybe we can be a little bit vocal on what we'd like to happen to the management of this part, right? So yeah, nakikita niyo yung double decks, double lanes. Kasi yung may part na 2 by 3 and may part na 2 by 2. And the 2 by 3 part started here. 2 coming from NLEX, a 3 coming from or going to NLEX. But it's also integrated with the on-ramps. Yan. So we're going to go back all the way to SM Center Point, retrace our analysis of the updates. So what do you think, guys? What do you think of the episode today? Did you like the format today? So let me know by commenting down below. I'm experimenting with the format, but the bottom line is for you to enjoy the videos. I'm not creating the videos for myself alone, but rather for you as well. Okay, the more you watch, definitely the more it makes sense for me to make videos like this. Okay. So just comment down below if you have any suggestions, any thoughts, any corrections that you'd like to make with the things that I have said. Okay. I'm really here to be corrected okay, if need be, right? So I'm just a motorist that needs to learn all the time as well. But when this gets completed, it's really going to be really nice. So ito yung Maria Clara. So if you turn right here, parallel yan sa Quezon Ave. So kung traffic si Quezon Ave, one thing that you can do is go here and then go all the way up to if you need to go to UST, tagos na nin yung UST. Now, itong ramp na to, we just passed by Quezon Avenue. I had a hiccup I have a glitch with my camera. So ito yung on-ramp. So as you could see here. So parang siyang the double decker, no? Kaya minsan makita mo, it looks like really a double decker. And as you could see here, it in a bit it widens up. You see this one here? It's even wider than the actual Skyway. So ito yung sinasabi ko na collector siya. Right? And I'm going to bet that majority of the lanes here will be for the vehicles getting off the Skyway itself. Okay, kasi nag-branch out na yan eh, oh. So, tapos mag-rejoin tayo doon. So, I'm pretty sure I'm going to bet that majority of it will be for vehicles getting off Skyway. Okay. Since there's going to be tall roads here, so I'm pretty sure that that's where they will probably put cameras, maybe tall booths or yung lift gates. Okay, which is a really good highway design. Because if you drive through SLEX and NLEX right now, we don't have any collectors. If you notice, right? So para siyang shoulder lang. Kung meron mang siguro pwede natin tawaging collector. Watch my episode for Calax. Yung Calax afternoon drive, look for it. You will see what I'm talking about here. If you're going to exit a highway, normally there's a lane where you exit. And it's pretty short. So in Mamplasan, if there's heavy traffic because of the toll booths, the highway itself is affected. So ibig sabihin nag-aantay yung mga sasakyan sa highway. Which in some countries, it doesn't happen because they have a collector lane. So lahat ng mga nagbabayad doon na pupunta. Na sa tingin ko, ito yung ginawa ng Skyway ngayon. Ito yung collector lane. But I'm hoping that I'm correct. But if I'm mistaken, let me know by commenting down below. Maybe I'll be disappointed, right? So we'll see. Hopefully not. Okay. I think we're going to end our episode here.